You've probably seen a pharaoh's mummy, right? All wrapped up and spooky. But what if I told you the ancient Egyptians mummified millions, and I mean millions, of animals? We're talking cats, crocodiles, birds, even scarab beetles. Why on earth would they do that? Was it a massive pet cemetery? Or was something much more mysterious and powerful going on? Get ready, because we're about to unwrap the strange and fascinating world of ancient Egyptian animal mummies, and the secrets they reveal are wilder than you can imagine. The answer isn't simple, because there wasn't just one reason. There were at least four main purposes, and each one tells us something incredible about how the ancient Egyptians saw the world. First up, and probably the cutest reason, is that some animals were beloved pets. Just like we might bury our furry friends in the backyard today, the Egyptians wanted their companions with them in the afterlife. These animal mummies often show signs of a long and happy life. Some have healed bones, indicating they were cared for after an injury. They were buried with little toys or food bowls. It's a really touching reminder that the bond between humans and animals is thousands of years old. These weren't just animals, they were family, and their owners couldn't bear the thought of eternity without them. But mummifying pets was actually the least common reason. The second purpose is where things get a bit more epic. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was a place you needed supplies for. So, they mummified animals to serve as food for the deceased. Imagine packing a lunch for eternity. In tombs, we find mummified ducks, geese, and even cuts of beef, all neatly wrapped and ready for the soul's long journey. These weren't pets, they were provisions. It shows how literally the Egyptians took the concept of the afterlife. They believed the deceased would get hungry, and they made sure a spectral feast was always on the menu. These weren't just symbolic representations, they were considered living, breathing incarnations of the gods themselves. When this divine bull died, it wasn't just a sad day for the farmer, it was a major national event. The bull was given a lavish funeral and mummified with all the ceremony of a pharaoh. It was then placed in a massive stone sarcophagus in a huge underground catacomb called the Serapeum at Saqqara. Think of it like lighting a candle on the church today. If an ancient Egyptian wanted to ask a favor from a god, say, Thoth, the god of wisdom, who was associated with the ibis bird, they would make a pilgrimage to a temple dedicated to him. There, they would purchase a mummified ibis from the temple priests and offer it to the god. It was a physical prayer, a tangible message sent to the divine realm. This practice created a massive industry. There were literal animal farms dedicated to breeding cats for the god Spaced, crocodiles for the god Sobek, and ibises for Thoth. One site alone, Tuna el Gebel, is estimated to hold around 4 million mummified ibises and falcons. The mummification process for animals was similar to that for humans, but often a bit simpler, especially for the mass-produced votive offerings. The most basic method involved just drying the animal out in natron, a type of natural salt. For more important animals, like a sacred bull or a beloved pet, the process was much more elaborate. The internal organs would be removed, the body cavity washed, and then the animal would be packed with natron for about 40 days to completely dehydrate it. Afterward, the body would be anointed with oils and resins, and then meticulously wrapped in linen bandages. Sometimes, intricate patterns were woven into the wrappings, and a painted mask might be placed over the face. CT scans of these animal mummies have revealed some fascinating, and sometimes shocking, details. While many animals appear to have been well cared for, a large number of the votive mummies, especially cats, show that they died at a very young age, often from a broken neck. This confirms they were bred specifically for the offering industry and killed when they reached a certain size. Scans have also uncovered fakes. Some elaborate animal-shaped mummy bundles contain only a few bones, some feathers, or even just mud and reeds. Let's look at some specific examples. The cat mummies are probably the most famous. Cats were associated with the goddess Spacet, a protective deity of the home, fertility, and childbirth. In her honor, millions of cats were mummified and buried at her cult center, Bubastis. When this site was excavated in the 19th century, the number of cat mummies was so vast that they were literally shipped to Britain by the ton to be ground up and used as fertilizer. It's a tragic end for these sacred objects, but it highlights the incredible scale of this practice. Then there are the crocodiles. The crocodile god, Sobek, was a god of the Nile, military might, and fertility. He was both feared and revered. At his main temple in a place called Crocodilopolis, live crocodiles were kept in a sacred lake, adorned with jewels, and fed by priests. When they died, they were mummified and buried in special animal necropolises. Some of these croc mummies are enormous, over 15 feet long, and perfectly preserved, giving us a terrifyingly close look at these ancient predators. And we can't forget the birds. The ibis and the falcon were mummified in the millions for the gods Thoth and Horus, respectively. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think is the strangest animal to mummify? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical deep dives. See you next time.